y'all, it's Anna, and today I'm back for another video in my back to school series, and this one I'm so excited about because it's a little bit different than anything I have on my channel. It's actually more back to school related than it is beauty or anything, but it's something that I really wanted to talk about, and it is my tips for going into junior high. Not that I would make this video for any of you guys going into junior high, or even if you're not going into junior high. I really wanted to put this out there because I spent a lot of time thinking about, things that I wish I would have known when I went into junior high, and I want to share them with you guys. I've separated the tips I have for you into two categories, and that is academics and just like life. So I'm going to start with academics because I don't have as many of those. They're all kind of out of order. Because the first one I have for you is to use your locker and keep your locker organized. When you get a locker, use it. It is so helpful. I know it's kind of annoying to go to your locker all the time, but it is so helpful to keep your stuff in there and keep it all organized how you need it. The next tip that I have kind of goes with that, and that is to decorate your locker. Make it warm and inviting, keep it positive, and make it expressive of you. What I do is I always decorate mine with pictures of my friends and sayings that I love, and I have a locker shelf and then like some holders, the magnetic holders that you can put pencils and stuff in, and I find that really helpful because it is very positive and very expressive of who I am. So it always makes me happy to come into my locker and see that, and if I'm having a bad day or something, I can just drop by my locker and be like, okay, I'm better now. So put positive things in there, things that you're going to want to see. Next thing is to use your planner. I know that some schools give you planners. My school always did, and I did not like them because they were not cute. So I went out and bought my planner. I know Target has really cute planners, and my planner last year was from Victoria's Secret, pink, and I loved it. It was so cute. Definitely use it. Copy down your homework, your quizzes, your tests, everything that is important to you, and look at it. Don't just, write it down and forget about it. Look at it and use it. It is so helpful. The next thing sounds kind of self-explanatory, or really do you really have to say that? But that is to do your homework. And yes, I do have to say it because I feel like a lot of people come out of elementary school, I know I did, and are so overwhelmed at the workload, and it's really not that much. It's just a lot in comparison to what you're used to. But do your homework, stay on top of it, make it a priority for you, and I promise you your classes are going to be a lot easier. The next thing kind of goes with that, and that is to go to tutorials or tutoring if your school offers it and if you can. My school had what was called advisory, and at the end of the day we had half an hour or 45 minutes, I can't remember how long it was, of just a free period, and everyone had their advisory at the same time, so that you could go to other teachers and you do tutoring and ask questions and stuff like that, and I found that really helpful. If your school doesn't have something like that, ask your teacher, because honestly they're there to help you succeed and they want to see you do well. It's their job. And so ask them if you can come in before school or after school or during lunch, or if they have a free period. And the next one is something kind of that I found preparing for high school would help you too, and that is to balance your hard classes and your easy classes. If you're anything like me, when you get all the classes and there's a lot of classes to choose from, you're like, oh my gosh, and you want to do all of them, but in reality it is really hard to have, how many classes you have, hard classes, or not even hard classes, homework classes that you have a lot of work in. So even though the class may not be a hard class, if you're having 1 or 2 hours a night of homework in that class, that's a lot of time, and it's going to be hard to balance that between other classes. So honestly for me, I have 7 classes, and I did about 4 and 3. I did 4 of my more core classes, the harder classes that I know I'm really going to have to work on and have a lot of homework, and then 3 classes that are still going to be something I'm going to work on. You still have to work equally in all your classes, but things that may not have as much homework, or just classes that, like health and stuff like that, stuff that you really don't need to put too much time into. Obviously still put time into them, but balance your classes between what you know is going to work with your schedule. The last one that I have in the academics kind of goes along with everything else I've said, especially the stuff about the lockers, and that is to use your backpack if you're allowed to. My 8th grade year, my principal decided that we should be able to, which was very nice, and so everyone in the school got to. And I just found that it was great. I made sure to kind of balance things between my locker and my backpack and not rely on everything being in my backpack, but I really found that it was so helpful. So if you're allowed to, I honestly would say break it up between stuff that's in your locker and stuff that's in your backpack, and go to your locker maybe once or twice a day to switch things out, have shifts, but don't rely solely on your locker, or don't rely solely on your backpack. Split up what you have in between. It's very helpful. So next I'm moving into life, and this is just stuff, I know life sounds like kind of a weird name for it, but this is just stuff that I want to tell you to just really help you, because I know that not just academically but also socially, like going into junior high is kind of a bit of a change. I know it can be so scary, but I know each and every one of you can do it. I just want to give you a couple of tips to kind of help you go through that time, that transition. These again are out of order. They're in no like specific order, like one is more important than the other or anything. They're just all thrown in there, what I thought of. So the first one is that being smart is cool. By all means, if you don't understand what the teacher is talking about, you don't understand a question, ask, because that's what school's for. It's here for you to like learn and grow and stuff. But if you do, don't pretend like you don't. Like, don't ask questions that are like very obvious and stuff. I think this is so important because I feel like a lot of kids, especially girls for some reason, really feel like knowing the answer to things is funny or cute or attractive or whatever, but honestly, like, everyone kind of sees through it. Like, everybody knows. So don't purposely put yourself down and make yourself seem like you're not as smart as you are, because being smart is attractive and is a great quality to have. Playing dumb is not cool. It's not pretty. It's not cute. The boys might think so at first, but trust me, they all grow up and get mature and realize that it's not cute and it's not funny to play dumb. It's not cool. Don't do it. Next thing, this is going to sound kind of funny, but it is honestly one thing I learned in junior high, and that is to not run in the hallways. I went to a humongous junior high, and the high school I'm going to is one of the biggest in my state. It is a humongous high school, and trust me, I had classes in junior high where I would have gym on this end of the school, and then I'd have an outside class on this side of the school. I did it every time in 5 minutes. Like, there's no need for you to run or sprint or knock people over. It's not worth it. And make it, I promise you. You will never be tardy. Next thing is to be friendly and open, and that's kind of cliche, I understand. Like, I know everyone's like, oh, just be open to new things, but it's so true. Be friendly to everybody you meet. That is the best way to make friends. Just be nice, because people want to be around people who are nice and friendly, and be open to new things. Obviously, know your limits and know what is right and what is wrong, but be open to trying things that you maybe you didn't see yourself doing. Like, if you love, you know, doing athletics, but you think theater might be cool, or you love doing art, but you want to try choir, like, try new things, because junior high is your time to kind of find yourself, or start to find yourself. It's okay if you don't, like, leave junior high knowing 100% what you want to do when you grow up, or what your life's going to be like, but it's the time where you really get more freedom, and you get to start finding what you like. So be open to trying new things that you might not have done in elementary school. The next thing I think is a little bit more maybe when you get older. I didn't notice it so much in 6th grade, but more towards 7th and 8th grade. And that is to not get caught up in relationships, drama, rumors, popularity, stuff like that. And I feel like it's a lot of times with girls. Guys too, but girls especially get very caught up in like who likes who and who's, you know, all the drama and, oh, did you see what she said to so-and-so, you know? And it honestly, it doesn't really matter, because it gets, you know, it seems like such a big deal one day, and then like a week later no one's talking about it anymore. It's moved on. So especially if you're the one who's in the middle of it and everyone's kind of like talking about you or something, I promise you, it like, life goes on, and the next week people are going to be worried about something else. Like, don't get caught up in it, and don't think that that's all there is, because, you know, if you have a true group of friends who don't get caught up in that kind of stuff, then you'll be okay. You don't need to like revolve your life around that, because if you think about it, like in 10 years, no one's really gonna remember who you dated in junior high, or who you were friends with, or if you were popular in 7th grade or whatever. It honestly, it doesn't matter. Next, like I said kind of before, but I'm just gonna touch on again, is to get involved. Do things that you maybe, like school-related things, that you maybe did not see yourself doing. Just get involved and be a part of the school, because that's what you really have fun, like that's where you really have so much fun in junior high. Go to the basketball games, go to the football games, cheer on your friends. If you're not a cheerleader, go and just like have fun and cheer people on and get involved and go to the school things. You know, it's not lame to like want to go and like hang out and have fun at school, you know, like obviously you don't need to spend all of your time up at school like and go to everything, but like have fun with your friends and like enjoy what the school has to offer, because if you don't, then like what else is there to do, you know? We kind of said this earlier too, but I found that in junior high I really wanted to work on finding myself, and by that I mean like your interests, your likes, your dislikes, your strengths, stuff you need to work on, you know, stuff like that. Like I would stress to you to work on finding what you like personally, and that may not be what your best friend likes, and you don't have to go along with what your friends are doing. You know, you can be friends with people who maybe aren't into the same things you are, and that is totally okay. But just work on finding things that you like, things that you maybe want to do, things that in high school you want to take, you know, more seriously, and then also like stuff you need to work on, like, oh, I am not so great at this, I want to work on that, and work on that, you know, like improve yourself overall as a person, and let this be like, don't take it so much as like, oh, change, don't be scared of it, because just let it change you and let yourself grow from what you learn. That's the next thing. Learn to accept change, because I'm telling you right now, lots of things change in junior high, and it's not always bad. A lot of times for me, things change for the good. Not be scared of it. Just embrace it and know that it happens to everybody. Anybody who went into junior high and left junior high the same person, and that is not a bad thing, because a lot of people, I mean, everybody changes for the better, and everybody learns something, and everybody becomes a stronger or a better or more independent, you know, whatever. They become a better person because of junior high. And so, but don't be afraid of that. You know, people are going to change. Your relationships with people, your friendships, all that kind of stuff may change in junior high, and that is okay. That is perfectly fine. It is meant to happen. You're not a bad person. It's not happening to you for a bad reason. It happens, and you just need to learn to be like, you know what? Change is going to happen, and I'm just going to let it happen, and I'm just going to keep on being myself and being positive and finding what I want to do, and just let change happen, and I promise you everything will be okay. Okay, this next one is so important, and this is something that I really do stress to do in junior high, especially before you go to high school, is to find your learning style. Actually, I can't explain it. It's to tell you about myself, my personal experience. I found in junior high the type of learner that I am, and I am a slow learner in the sense that I like to really take things and I like to grasp them completely, and I like to know why, and I like to know how and everything. Like, I always ask a lot of questions, and that takes a little bit longer. I'm a little bit of a slower learner. I can't just take things at face value and like, okay, I get it, and move on, and memorize. I like to like take something and just like jump into it, and it helps me remember, it helps me understand better when I know everything about it, and that takes a lot longer than people who can, you know, take things and learn them fast, which isn't a bad thing. They're both two different ways of learning. It just happens that I am the slower one, and so I learned that classes that are very fast-paced are harder for me to get, and not impossible for me to take, but just harder for me because I can't go as fast. I like to know like everything about it, and so I learned that classes that were that had a little bit more freedom at your pace, kind of classes you took at your pace and stuff, were classes for me. I really stress finding your learning style. It'll really help you going into high school, knowing what classes you can take. Alright, I just have about 2 more things I want to talk about. The first thing is to not sweat the small stuff, because I promise you there's going to be things in junior high that you're going to look back on and be like, why was I so worried about that? Because, you know, there's just things that seem like the whole world to you, and I promise you later on they are not important whatsoever. You need to work hard in junior high, but also have fun and like take advantage of like being young and like having, you know, so many close friends, and just like having opportunities to go and do stuff, you know, like you're not always going to be in junior high forever, and while it may seem like junior high is really hard or a lot of work, it honestly gets harder, and so just enjoy, you know, like having a lot of free time, and so really just enjoy that, and do not sweat the small stuff. And the last thing I want to talk about is something that I think is very important after saying all of this is junior high can be a stressful time if you let it be. And so you need to have, you know, ways that you can really help yourself unwind. Like having a certain playlist on your iPod, your phone or something, having like a special drink or a treat maybe that like, you know, okay, this will really help me just like relax and not be so stressed. For me, I know this sounds kind of weird, but I always used to like to pamper myself when I was stressed, so I would do like a face mask or paint my nails, something like that, or even, I know for me, reading the Bible helped a lot. Find something that just really like speaks to you, find something that really helps you, like when you're stressed, you can take a break from it. Anytime you are just stressed out in life and you just need a 5 or 10 minute break to get yourself back together, find something that helps you do that. So I said that was the last thing I was going to talk about, but I have one more thing that I forgot to mention that I think is so important. And honestly, if you're going to take one thing away from this whole video, this is the thing that I hope you that sticks with you. And that is, and I think this applies for pretty much everything in life, but junior high is what you make it. If you go in with a negative mind or, negative thoughts, or you're just dreading it, I know we all do it. I'm guilty of doing it. I'm like, oh, back to school, I don't want to, blah, 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 blah. Don't go into junior high with negative mind or thinking it's going to be the worst thing ever in the whole world, because then it'll seem like it is. But if you're like, you know what, I have a lot of homework tonight, but my favorite TV show's on, or I get to go hang out with my friends this weekend, or, I just bought that really cute outfit that I'm going to wear tomorrow, or whatever it is that makes you happy, then junior high will be fun. Junior high is what you make it. If you think of it like, you know what, this part kind of isn't fun, but I love doing this, or I love this class, or I love this activity, or this club, or whatever, then junior high really will be fun for you. So don't just take it, for the negatives. Think about the positives and make it what you want it to be. So that is really the biggest thing I guess I can tell you, is just to be positive and make junior high, it'll be what you make it. Along with high school and everything else, I think that applies for everybody, is that it'll be what you make of it. So that is, I think, all the advice I have to share with you. I really hope that something sticks with you and something is helpful when you go into junior high. So anyways, I just was really happy to be able to sit down and film this video for y'all, and I hope that you do have an amazing first day of school and an amazing year, whether you're in 6th grade, 8th grade, 12th grade, whatever you're going into. I hope that it's a great year for you, and remember that you are beautiful because you're made in God's image. And I'll talk to you all super duper soon. Mwah! Bye.